For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise. And you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Country music. It's all trending this week on YouTube, social media, TV, everything. You know who I'm talking about. Oh, it's the song that's called Racist and Dangerous. And I've also got some thoughts about social media and what we're seeing and why we're allowed to see what we see. 30 minutes of time-wasting fun. You might even learn something. You might form a new opinion on The Scribble, starting right after this.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secret to losing 3 to 5 pounds a week without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt RX. For the last 2 decades, we've helped countless people lose thousands of pounds. And now, it's your turn. Learn how to lose weight with one simple phone call and no prescription needed. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a risk-free money-back guarantee. So, if you're ready to start losing weight, call right now and get a free month supply with your first order of Body Sculpt RX. Call now. You have nothing to lose but the pounds. 800-459-6838. 800-459-6838. 800-459-6838. That's 800-459-6838.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on The Scribble. This Jason Aldean song, Jason Aldean. It's, first of all, it's freezing in this room right now. And this is what's weird about things, right? You can be sweltering hot outside, but then, like, why do we have it cranked inside? Like, just let it be a regular room temperature. I've never understood this. Now, I'm right now in a hotel suite because I'm in Chicago. I'm not at home base right now. And the suite, maybe that's just a hotel thing. I think I've checked into a bunch of hotels before where you open the door and it's like a freezer. And so isn't that weird though, right? Because I want just regular room temperature. It doesn't, just because it's hot outside doesn't mean that you want it an icebox inside. All right, there we go. I've just pissed away the first minute of this segment. So back to Jason's song. And I think you've probably, if you're tuned into pop culture and podcasts and whatever, I mean, you've heard about this. The song is called Try That in a Small Town. It was filmed in a small town in Tennessee, where there was, many years ago, a black man was lynched for... he was accused of, anyway, assaulting a white girl. And this was, like I said, quite a while ago. So he uses visuals that he says are all just sort of news footage. It's not like he, hired actors to recreate anything. And I mean, the news footage is showing protests. It's showing, police and violence and just a whole bunch of things. And people are taking issue with it because they're saying that it's almost sort of inciting violence and condoning racism. And you know how things go these days, where everybody's making a big to-do about something, and certainly that prompts a song to skyrocket on the charts, right? So just Wednesday, I think it was. So the controversy kind of really started sort of over the weekend. It really fired up, I guess, Monday. That's when CMT pulled the video as well. And so by, Wednesday, it was number 1 on iTunes. And then it was also trending on YouTube. The hashtag for the song, his name, everything trending on Twitter all week. And Sheryl Crow chimed in. Her saying is, I'm from a small town. Even people in small towns are sick of violence. There's nothing small town or American about promoting violence. You should know that better than anyone. Having survived a mass shooting, it's just lame. You recall 2017, Aldean was on stage when that guy in the hotel, right? Mandalay Bay, I believe it was, smashed out the windows, was shooting from high above this big music festival. 60 people killed, over 400 concertgoers injured. And so, Sheryl Crow is drawing that parallel of going, wait a second, here's somebody who's been, right in violence. He was on stage when this all started. He ran off stage, took cover while everybody else was out in the open. And so she's making that comparison. Now, for his part, Jason has said, not a single lyric in the song that references race or points to it, and there isn't a single video clip that isn't real news footage. And while I can try and respect others to have their own interpretation of a song with music, this one goes too far. He said that it refers to the feeling of a community that I had growing up, where we took care of our neighbors regardless of differences of background or belief, because they were our neighbors and that was above any differences. Now, here's the thing. Now, I'm not in the music business, okay? First and foremost, I maybe did a bit of musical theater back in the day when I was a youngster, but as a writer, as a creative person, I'm a best-selling author. I've written a newspaper column. I write for, radio. We've done all this for many, many years. I'm looking at it as a craft, as an art, okay? So there's plenty of things that we don't necessarily, agree with today, and maybe his song, maybe his interpretation, he's talking about other people's interpretation, maybe his interpretation is sending a message. So I'm not defending him. Let me be very clear on this before anybody is like, you're racist, I'm saying, I understand what he's saying. The lyrics that they're not on my screen. Can somebody pull them up for me? Or maybe can I do it? Well, you're going to hear some clicking, I guess. Everybody, we just had it on our radio show a couple days ago, so I have the lyrics here somewhere. It says, carjack an old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store, cuss out a cop, see how far you make it down the road. Around here, we take care of our own. So when you actually break down the lyrics, as he's saying his last point, because they were our neighbors, and that was above any differences. So it was kind of like, we might not get along, we might be different backgrounds, whatever it is, but because we're all one community. So I get what he's saying. And maybe it's the visuals, because like I said, the music video came out on Monday, and that's kind of when this whole sort of uproar started. Okay, so the song was out was it May? It came out. Anyway. It's been out for at least a few weeks now, and nobody's really had an issue with it. Now you hear the lyrics, you partner that with the visuals, right? You're seeing the music video. And that's where it's kind of hitting home. Now, again, as an artist, as a songwriter, as a musician, whatever you want to call him, he's telling a story. He's painting that picture. He's packing a punch. He's got a message to send. So I can understand the other side of this, where people are like, why are you glamorizing? Like, why are you calling this whole... But here's the parallel, where it's kind of like, we're in a place and time right now in society where we're not allowed to say, this didn't happen, let's forget about it, because it's constantly at the forefront. And that's anything. Hey, I'm even talking about gay rights. So it's not like I'm going after the whole black thing. I'm not saying that at all. Because I know, and it's in Canada, the Indigenous, thing in Canada. So there's a whole bunch of things where we, as a society, go and say, well, the big debate in the United States is the education system and what kids are taught in school, right? And so I understand history. I get it. I feel that there's many important world events and societal issues, I guess you'd call them, that we should learn from. We should not sweep them under the rug and pretend they did not happen. But that's kind of the thing, though, is that are we taking things at surface level, or are we taking it one step back and saying, I get the message of this now. I get it. Because you always, again, remember, art, music, whether you want to say, art we can think of as, in Italy or, whatever, or somewhere, European art and museums, whatever, that's art as well. But art could be anything. Writing a book, right? It's creating. Art is creating. So there's plenty of books. We know that there's plenty of books being banned in the United States right now as well. But, are we learning from it? Is the intent to hurt? Is the intent to, cause pain is the intent to fuel the fire. Now, the NAACP, let me just give you a bit more information here. The NAACP in Tennessee goes and says this town where part of the video was shot outside this courthouse in Columbia. Was it Columbia? Give me the name of it. Columbia, Tennessee, where that's, like I said, where the man was lynched back in the day. And so the NAACP is saying, that doesn't make it any easier. The fact that you're showing this place where this, I guess I'll use the word infamous. I'm not from there. I don't know the history of it, but it sounds like it is an infamous moment in their culture, like in their, I was going to say in their cultural history, I guess. So I get that too. Now, the NAACP takes it one step further than that, saying the KKK has actually been in town and putting up like posters and signs recently as well. So it's kind of like, you always have to remember that there's people who are maybe getting the wrong message from things that, are going to now take this as an endorsement of violence and things like that. So, like I said, I'm just putting this out there. I've given you both sides, right? I'm saying that I understand people who are saying this is wrong and not sending the right message, given where we are in society today. And I also see it from the artist's point of view, who's saying, I'm sending a message. When you actually read the words for what they are, his message, I see his message. Again, let me repeat. Am I saying that I agree with his message? I'm not saying that at all. This is what I do on this show, is I put it out there. I've done this for many years, and I'm going to tell you sort of why. We got to go. I know. Wrap this up. But when I used to be the advice giver all the time, back when I was at home living in my parents' basement, I had my own phone line as a teenager. I had 3 cordless phones, because you can have more than one phone. There were some nights I took pride in having to charge all 3 of them after a night of talking. I've always been a talker, as you can tell, and so when a friend would call me, and they've either had, argument with their boyfriend, girlfriend, or fight with their parents, or problem at school, problem at job, they got fired, whatever, I was always that friend that the phone was ringing. And like I said, I took pride in that, because it made me feel good that people wanted to share with me. I'm a talker, I'm a listener, and so whenever somebody would come to me for advice, what should I do? I've always hated that question. I've never, at least in recent memory, I've never said, you should do this. I absolutely hate the word should, because now you're telling somebody what to do, and I don't like to be told what to do. This is why I own a company and I'm the boss. I'm in charge. I'm not taking direction. So I will put it out there, and somebody, let's say so and so calls, and I have a problem with my girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, partner. I have a problem with my partner. And I'll say, okay, I'll ask some questions, I'll play out some scenarios, I'll make the person rethink it or look at it from a different angle. But I'm never saying, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? You should do this. No, I'm saying, what if such and such happens? What if such and such changes? What if, and that gets the wheels turning for the person. They formulate the thought. I can put ideas or different ways of looking at something, but ultimately, it's their decision. It's their life. That's what they're going to do. So that is what I do on this show, whether you like it or not. And you're now how many minutes into halfway through this show, you're still listening. So maybe you do appreciate the delivery of it. So I want to know your thoughts on this Jason Aldean song live at jbonair.com. If you haven't seen the video, take a look at it as well and see what you think. And I understand what he's saying, where he's showing news footage. So we have many music videos that have political statements or sending, just some type of message. And maybe we like the visuals, maybe we don't like the visuals. Maybe we can appreciate the artistic value of it. I don't know. But that's up to you when you are listening to the song, watching the video. You decide. If you are intellectual enough, sometimes you do break it down. And I'm not calling anybody stupid. I'm just saying there's a lot of songs where people don't necessarily know the lyrics. I went to a wedding. This was many years ago. I had to laugh because the bride, and this was my friend, she needed a date. She had moved away, and then she came back into town, and her boyfriend or husband at the time, whatever, couldn't travel as well. So she's like, hey, JB, want to be my date, to this wedding? And I know her family. I went to junior high with her. I've known her for many years. So I was kind of like, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. It's free booze and okay. And so we were, you kind of sit and you wait. There's romantic music playing, or there's a love song, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, they started playing, oh, where could my baby be? The law took her away from me. You know that song, right? She's gone to heaven, so I've got... And it was just really funny because I'm sitting here going, I think these people believe that any slow song is a love song. Because there were some songs like about death. It was kind of weird. And so that's what I'm saying is, I don't know that these people kind of thought about the lyrics of the songs that they're playing. They're not the most inspiring when it comes to a wedding. But again, like I was in the radio, I've been in the radio business for 20 some years. I hosted a music show for 15 years. So I know song lyrics, right? It's one thing to sing along to a song, but then when you actually kind of go and say, what are they actually saying with the song? So those are two different things, right? You can listen to the song and appreciate the music for the beat, the melody, the harmonies, the bridge, whatever you want. And then there's the other one where you're actually just reading it, and literally, like you're reading it literally for what it is. And I'm not one of those idiots who doesn't know what literally means, right? Like I literally am dying. I literally love that. I know that is not the real use of the word. But when you're looking at it from a literal sense, like I said, he's all right, we gotta go. Because I also have to leave Chicago, by the way. So feel free, email me live@jbonair.com. Back in a moment on the Scribble.
Listen up, guys. Are you experiencing any of the following? Fatigue, less drive, poor performance? If so, you may be one of the nearly 30 million men in the U.S. today dealing with ED. But did you know you don't have to pay hundreds for a prescription anymore? And you don't have to deal with the hassle of seeing the doctor or the embarrassment of going to the pharmacy for a certain pill. Now with one free call, you can find out how Herbal Virility Max can help you feel like a man again. For over a decade, Herbal Virility Max has helped guys just like you put a smile back on their face with improved performance and drive. Call today and ask about our buy one, get one free offer. Save the money, save the hassles, and get the better blue pill. Dial 800-578-0179. That's 800-578-0179. 800-578-0179.
This statement has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt, your shoulder hurts, and your back. Oh my God, your back. They're constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore, am I right? Well, here is something you haven't tried. Pain Absolve. Pain Absolve is not available in any drugstore. The only way to get it is by calling today. We're so confident that it will work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase, no prescription needed, and best of all, each purchase comes with a money-back guarantee. Call now to find out how you can get Pain Absolve and get rid of your pain. Call 800-319-0582. That's 800-319-0582. 800-319-0582. Call today, 800-319-0582.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. We're going to talk social media now because, you're addicted to it. Don't even try that. Several years ago, you might recall, I wrote a book called Put Down Your Damn Phone Already, a loving rant about your obnoxious cell phone use. But it really was it passive-aggressive? Is that the true definition of passive? Anyway, it was making fun of people. And you've seen them, and you're one of those people. I enjoy somebody coming straight at me in the mall looking down at their phone because I want them to bump into me and I want that phone to fall. I'm an asshole like that, but you know what? Watch where you're going. You need to pay attention to people because, for the term social media, well, you've heard this debate before. Anyway, earlier this week or even just last week, I got suspended from Instagram, and it's funny because I don't remember what I was doing. I got the email as I was wherever I was, whatever I was doing. I got the email just saying you need to take action. So I opened the email. I was like, what is it? It says you've been suspended for spam. Now, again, I wrote a book called Put Down Your Damn Phone Already. I'm not spending my day on social media. And so I was kind of like, that's really weird. I've been suspended for spam. So I went and looked because I didn't even remember the last post that I had done. And so, we're July 21st right now. And so I logged in, and I was like, the last post, this was the last time that I used Instagram, was July 2nd. How many of you listening right now, if you're on Instagram, if you're on any social media, tell me if you have gone 20 days without logging into your account. Probably your MySpace account, sure. For those who are protesting Twitter and you're boycotting it, fine. But pick your, 2 social media apps that you use the most. Have you been away from them for 20 days straight without logging in, without doing anything? You probably have not. So what the fuck is this message that I'm busted for spamming? Busted for spamming. Then I come to find out that there's a business in Winnipeg, my hometown, where I split my time between Winnipeg and West Hollywood. There was a business that was on the news just a couple of weeks. Actually, I think it was maybe around that time, on July 1st-ish, 2nd-ish, that all of a sudden was suspended. Their page was just kind of wiped out. No idea why. I don't know that they said it was spam, though. It just said that it was suspended. And so then, that happens to me. Like I said, I think it was the 17th I got it. Now that I'm talking it through, that date kind of is sticking in my head. But either way, it was 2 weeks since I had even logged in. It's not like, the last post, but then I've been scrolling that I haven't even fucking logged into the app. And if Instagram is not listening, as we know, but fact check me, Instagram. Fact check me. If you email me, they know my email, right? They emailed me to suspend me. Email me. If I'm wrong, Instagram, if I'm telling tales out of school and they're like, you logged in July 7th, call me out for that. Call me out for that. And I will do a public apology that I was wrong, that I was incorrect about my logging in of Instagram. But at the end of the day, this is my thing here, is there are so many small businesses. Last summer we did the Pride Biz Showcase on this show. And I talked with so many different entrepreneurs about whether they have a product, whether they opened a store, whether they're creating art, just different backgrounds, different, careers, different interests, different hobbies. And there was this constant threads, right? Thread is that new. So I'm not on Threads, by the way. So if you do see me on there, that's not me. But there was this common trend of LGBTQ artists, entrepreneurs, again, all those things I just mentioned, artists, hobbyists, creators, whatever. All of them said that they've been targeted by social media companies. And so then I was doing this deeper dive and I was like, wow, this is actually happening quite a bit, where there was, these were music artists, were promoting some new content they had done. And they had posted this was 2 females, had posted a picture of the 2 of them. It's sort of a loving embrace. Their foreheads are touching. There's no nudity. There's no tongues out. There's no genital touching. There's no, it's just, it's actually kind of a tender shot. Again, you'll have to, I think it was the, I can't think of the organization it was. Can somebody get that for me as well? It wasn't GLAAD. It wasn't the human rights. Oh, shoot. I can't. All right. We'll get it for you. And so anyway, so they had tested this and they were like, okay, well, we're being targeted as a not straight couple. And so they tested this by changing the artwork by then going and putting a straight couple. So male and female, same picture, like heads touch, foreheads touching, whatever. And that got approved. ACLU, thank you, American Civil Liberties Union. And so they go and change it up, and then all of a sudden, it's approved, the photo's approved, it's not taken down, there's no drama, there's no hubbub. Well, now you get the ACLU knocking on now this was before it was like Meta and all that other shit. So you get the ACLU knocking on Facebook's door going, what is this? What are you doing? Why is this happening? And they really just said that it was incorrectly blocked. The original content was incorrect, but they didn't offer there was no explanation with the apology. So you get your standard boilerplate apology, right? We got it wrong, whatever. Because that's what happened with my suspension, was that And it was also very weird because you had to have some kind of confirmation email. You had to enter the code from that. Then you had to enter a phone number and have a code sent to your phone. I was like, this is just a fucking data grab because you don't have my cell phone on file. Well, now you do because, I've just given it to you. Whether they've logged it, whether they're doing anything with it, whether I'm going to start getting text, spam, whatever. But I was just kind of like, how does that make it better that I'm not like, this is an account that wasn't logged into for like over 2 weeks. So now you're gonna call me out for spamming. And what does that even mean? I don't even message people on there. Truthfully, I would have to look. I think there's maybe like 2 or 3 people who like ran. There's probably messages sitting there from July 2nd that I haven't even replied to because I don't care. I give 2 flying fucks about Instagram based on their homophobia, bigotry, all this other shit. Now, there's this the Happy Bulge Swim Company, right? Our men's swimwear and underwear. That store has been fighting with Facebook since almost day one for like 2-3 years, because product photos of swimwear are being flagged as sexual positioning, adult products. A fucking bathing suit, a fucking pair of briefs is considered adult product. I'm not talking like the diapers that old people wear. I'm just saying like a regular pair of briefs is considered adult. So you got to go into a store, that's 18 plus with the shaded windows so that you can't see in or out to buy your underwear? Fuck off Facebook. Fuck off Instagram. Fuck off Meta. Fuck off Zuckerberg. Fuck off Threads. Fuck off all that shit. Really. And so when you look at what that does to a small business, when you look at what that does to the artist who's just trying to put music out, when you look at what that does to the painter who's just trying to, paint love or paint their partner. I mean, look at Titanic when we had Kate Winslet sprawled out with her tits out and Leonardo DiCaprio painting. Right, that was beautiful. That was art. That was okay. Michelangelo's David. That is a sculpture. Or, that one with the dingle hanging out. That was, especially as a gay boy, I loved that one when I was growing up. But that's art. So to hear that, like on network television, CBS on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, they weren't, so, we're talking 11:30, midnight. They weren't allowed to show the photo, or if they did, it had to be briefly, or it had to be, like they had to modify it. And so you look at something like that going, I'm sorry, how old is that sculpture? How old is that? So that was okay back in the day. That was kosher. Everybody was fine. It's art. Going back to that Jason Aldean thing, right? But suddenly it's pornographic, it's nudity, it's whatever. And this is where we take that step back again and go, there are bigger problems in the world, people. There are way bigger problems. That Aldean song, you got the KKK coming in town, that's a problem. That is something that should be noticed, taken care of, pointed out. Get the law enforcement involved, get the court system involved, get the governor, the mayor, whoever, fine, do that. But Michelangelo's David's peen, his, from not centuries ago, but, generations ago. That's a problem at 11:30 at night on television for an adult audience that's watching Colbert. Not now because of the writer's strike and everything, but we know. And so, it just makes you shake your head and go, wow. So when I see things that are banned from Instagram on like the Happy Bulge page, or even Buff Boy Brewing Coffee, they had their advertising account on Instagram shut down because there was a post for coffee that was labeled as fake documents and currency. Now, what's the trend? What's the underlying theme with these two stores? Gay run and owned, gay audiences. Now, I personally did reach out for a comment from the PR team at Meta. I started in October. 70 emails, 70 since then. 70 emails have gone unanswered. Now, we had one of our producers, Rob, reach out just a few weeks ago, and we wanted to go a different route. We wanted to just see if they think that he's somebody different from a different organization, will they respond? Sure as shit, he got a reply very quickly. Now, our guys... not guys as in males, but our story was he wanted information about how small businesses, what supports there are for small businesses on the Meta platform. So we got a reply right away. And then when he went in for the kill and said, boom, here's the story we're going, we need a comment, they have been MIA since. They have not responded to anything since then. So that makes you wonder, though, about that organization, right? Are they a bunch of homophobes? Are they fucking bigots at the top? Because GLAAD has called them out too, by the way, recently. Well, I guess a few years ago, saying that the LGBTQ community is over-policed, with things being wrongly flagged, pages being shut down, people's livelihood at stake, and it's not right. And their statement to me, I got an actual statement from GLAAD that the social media companies need to do a better job. I have personally seen years ago videos of like animal cruelty. I've seen a cat getting slammed down on the ground by somebody. You've seen all the fights of a teen girl in the bathroom at school getting ambushed and getting her head fucking just ripped around and slammed to the ground, and that's okay. That's okay on Meta. Seeing somebody getting fucking brutally... Now I'm getting worked up because you hear me swearing, though. Isn't that disgusting, though? So they can flag... Something in their AI system flags a cock in a pair of underwear. Something in their system can read that picture and say, nope, there's a dick there. Yeah, Zuckerberg. But there's a dick in that picture. Nope, picture's bad, flag, suspension, shut down, whatever. But it can't detect a video of somebody getting the snot kicked out of them. It can't detect that. So they've got it trained on like peen protector, like a peen search. It's finding penises in underwear, and yet it doesn't see the little girl at school getting fucking thrown around and beaten to a pulp. That's saying something about social media and it's not saying anything about society, because that stuff is happening. Maybe it's happening more and we're seeing it more because of social media, but there's been school fights, since back in the day. I'm saying the fact that social media is being policed for harmless, 2 girls having their foreheads touching. Sexual is flagged as sexual content. But your daughter, your son at school, who's just trying to take a piss, who's just trying to have a break between classes, who's just trying to walk home for lunch, is getting the fucking crap beat out of them. That's okay to see. That's okay to see. It's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. It's not, and here's the thing. First of all, like I said, I have no interest in social media, so it's not hurting me. It doesn't bother me. If our stores, if our companies, if our whatever gets shut down on Instagram, whatever, I'm okay with that, because we have an audience, we have a loyal following, we have people that support. Are the stores gonna take a hit? Obviously they will, but that's where it's that. And this is not me bragging. I'm saying, like, I have a lot of money. I do. It's that artist in Vancouver who's just trying to paint alongside the ocean and sell her paintings. It's that couple with the foreheads and the music and that's just trying to eke out a living. Those are the people that it's hurting. I'm confident. I'm confident in my life. I'm a married guy. I'm 40. I'm turning 41. I retired basically from work at 39 years old. I've got money. I'm fine. It's not hurt. It doesn't. It's the people who are. I can't. Now I'm stumbling. I mean, we're going to take a break because we're almost out of time. We're going to wrap this up on the Scribble right after this.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
It's never too early to start thinking about your next holiday. Have you checked out Mexico recently? From tequila tasting, swimming with horses, to ziplining through the jungle and watching whales and dolphins in their natural habitat, Puerto Vallarta has it all. Visit mexico.jbonair.com to see all the fun PV has to offer. That's at mexico.jbonair.com for hundreds of photos, interviews, and videos from around the tourist hotspot. Check out mexico.jbonair.com for all the fun. That's mexico.jbonair.com.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble. I know we're a few minutes over time, but they kept me going. They just told me because it was like I was so impassioned, and they haven't seen me that, speaking with such authority. Normally, I'm just kind of putting it out there, casually chatting. I was quite worked up, so they're like, "This is awesome. Let's keep going." But we are out of time, and as I mentioned, I'm in Chicago, and I do have to get home. The reason they're rushing me is because we're actually taping another episode immediately after this, and so they had said, these are 30-minute shows, so if we do this one, we bang out the second one, right? We do a quick turnaround, and then I do have time to check out of the hotel and get home with my husband. So feel free to give me a shout anytime. Always awesome hearing from you. The email address is live@jbonair.com. live@jbonair.com. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some